The price of chocolate is going up.
Cocoa prices surged to all-time highs this week.
The price of cocoa beans has soared to record highs.
Africa woke up to a thunderclap that few in the global commodities trade saw coming. Ghana has shocked the world with a revolutionary decision that is already sending tremors through the multi-billion-dollar chocolate industry. The West African nation, the world's second-largest cocoa producer, has announced it will eliminate foreign influence over its cocoa financing system by refusing external funding to purchase locally grown cocoa. For decades, foreign banks and commodity traders quietly shaped the flow of Ghana's beans through pre-financing deals that used cocoa itself as collateral. Now, Accra says that era is over. The message is bold and unmistakable. Ghana intends to control its cocoa, process more of it at home, and capture the value that has historically slipped through its fingers. Here's how Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama broke this news while speaking on the sidelines of the just-ended 39th African Union Assembly of Heads of States.
Stop foreign funding for the purchase of our cocoa. We are going to raise domestic bonds. We have enough cedis in Ghana to pay for our cocoa. We're going to raise domestic bonds, buy our own cocoa. We don't need to collateralize the beans. I know the interesting part. We have the capacity to process 400,000 tons of those beans, processing capacity in Ghana. But because the beans are collateralized, we cannot even allocate those beans to the local processors. We have to ship all the beans outside. Now, if we buy the beans ourselves, we can take 400,000 tons out of the beans and give to our local processors to add value. That is what the Accra research is about. I say by 2030, there are not going to be any raw mineral ores leaving Ghana. You're not going to ship manganese ores out of Ghana raw. You're not going to ship bauxite ore out of Ghana raw. You're not going to ship iron ore out of Ghana raw. You must process all that locally. That is the only way we can provide opportunities for our young people. Our young people are not as patient as our generation. They want to see that progress and prosperity today. And that is why Accra Research has that urgency that we need to implement in order that we stop our young people from braving the dangers of the Sahara and the Mediterranean to try to get to Europe to look for opportunity. Africa's prosperity is not a threat to anybody in this world.
To understand why this move is seismic, one must look at the old financing model. Each cocoa season, Ghana's Cocoa Board relied on billions in foreign loans, mostly denominated in dollars, to purchase beans from farmers. These loans were secured using the cocoa itself as collateral, effectively tying Ghana's supply to foreign financiers and forcing shipments abroad. The system worked efficiently and ensured farmers were paid, but it also created structural dependence. Worse still, it prevented Ghana from diverting beans to local processors even when domestic factories stood ready. When global prices swung from $7,200 per ton to $4,200 and currency shifts altered repayment values, Ghana absorbed painful losses. Under the new approach, cocoa bonds issued in Ghanaian cedis will finance purchases domestically, ending the collateral trap. This frees up roughly 400,000 tons of beans for local processing, strengthens currency stability, and keeps more profits circulating within the national economy. Many analysts say the shift is long overdue. Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire together produce more than 70% of the world's cocoa, yet millions of farmers remain trapped in poverty. Around 5 million smallholders produce 90% of global cocoa, but the wealth generated by chocolate rarely reaches them. West Europeans consume nearly 40% of the world's cocoa, followed by the United States and Eastern Europe. While chocolate prices climb, farmers earn only a tiny share, sometimes averaging just 6 cents per chocolate bar. Manufacturers, processors, and retailers capture most of the value, while struggling farmers lack resources to invest in better soil, fertilizers, or sustainable cultivation. The irony is painful. The countries receiving raw beans host thriving processing industries that transform cocoa into chocolate bars, cocoa butter, cocoa powder, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, beverages, and luxury confectionery. Elegant chocolates packaged in Dubai boutiques or premium Nordic brands selling in Finland command enormous prices. Yet many farmers who grew the beans cannot afford the finished products. How did the creators of the raw wealth become strangers to its rewards? President Mahama's cocoa policy is only one piece of a larger economic reset. By declaring that no raw mineral ores will leave Ghana by 2030, he signaled a sweeping resource sovereignty agenda, one that targets manganese, bauxite, iron ore, and other strategic minerals. This aligns with his Accra Reset initiative, a continental vision advocating industrialization, value addition, and economic self-reliance for Africa's 1.4 billion people. The initiative argues that Africa must move beyond extractive relationships and build domestic processing capacity to create jobs and retain wealth. Mahama linked the urgency to Africa's restless youth, warning that without opportunities, young people will continue risking deadly journeys across the Sahara and Mediterranean in search of hope. Is local processing not just an economic strategy, but a social survival plan? If successfully implemented, the benefits could be transformative. Local cocoa processing means new factories, expanded supply chains, skilled jobs, and stronger domestic industries. Farmers could enjoy more stable payments and a more resilient market insulated from external shocks. Ghana's currency could gain stability as cocoa transactions shift into cedis. The country could move up the value chain, exporting finished or semi-processed products rather than raw beans. Increased industrial activity would stimulate technology transfer, infrastructure development, and entrepreneurship. Most importantly, more value would remain in Ghana, circulating through communities rather than disappearing into foreign balance sheets. Yet skeptics ask, can domestic capital markets sustain the financing load? And will global traders resist a shift that threatens entrenched profit structures? Across Africa, the announcement has sparked excitement, debate, and a whisper of possibility. If Ghana, one of the pillars of the global cocoa economy, can reclaim control of its supply chain and insist on local value addition, what prevents other resource-rich nations from doing the same with copper, lithium, oil, or rare earth minerals? For decades, the continent has exported raw wealth and imported finished goods at premium prices. Ghana's bold stance suggests a different future, one where Africa processes, manufactures, and profits from its own resources. Whether this gamble reshapes the global cocoa trade or triggers resistance from powerful interests remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, Ghana has drawn a line in the sand. The blueprint has been laid, the debate has begun, and the question now echoes across the continent. Will others follow, or will Africa continue exporting its prosperity in raw form while importing its own dreams at a premium? Your perspective matters. What do you make of Ghana ending foreign cocoa financing in line with plans to cease all raw mineral exports by 2030? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments section below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the New Africa channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our informative future videos. Stay informed, stay engaged, and thank you for watching.